Yo, what's up guys, it's your Jiedel, and I'm finally back with another story time. This one has been long in the making. I've always said I was going to do a story time complaining about my English teacher from high school because she pretty much ruined my life senior year. I don't like this woman at all. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, this is Rocket League. We do story times on Rocket League. Last story time I did it on 2K, it just didn't feel right, so I'm going back to Rocket League. Don't worry, I'm still a 2K channel, don't freak out. Now, honestly, I'm probably gonna get really mad during this video, so this might sound more like a rant than an actual story. I'm already getting mad just thinking about doing this story time. The other hard part about doing story times about like real people that I'm like kind of trashing on the internet is I had to come up with a fake name for them. All I'm gonna say is this teacher's name actually rhymed with twat, so I'm just gonna call her Mrs. T. For the purposes of this video, she will be known as Miss T. Now, I had Miss T for 2 years. I had her sophomore year and senior year. But sophomore year, she was pregnant, so she missed most of the school year. So like I didn't really actually get to know her, but like from the beginning we didn't really like each other. I think she didn't like me because I was getting a good grade in her class. Like, I was an A student, but for some reason, because I was an A student, she was like, I guess she didn't like that sometimes I would talk. And honestly, I didn't even talk that much. So sophomore year, she leaves for like most of the year. So no one really like knows her, has any strong opinions about her. Like, I don't really have that many strong opinions about her at all. And then she comes back and she's all like salty that everyone seemed to love the sub we had throughout the year. Like, she was just really upset. We were all just saying such nice things about the sub and these other teachers. By the way, I was in this like program, I think I've said this a million times in my videos, I was in this like program that linked like my art class, my history class, and my English class together, so you'd have assignments for all 3 classes a lot of the times. So she didn't like that we had this awesome history teacher that we were always just talking about. He was the man. Like, this history teacher was so cool. I used to play World of Warcraft with him. I know, I used to play World of Warcraft all the time. I even played it with my teacher. Like, this guy was such a cool teacher. But so she didn't like that we were always saying nice things about the other teachers, and we really didn't have anything nice to say about her ever. So it got to the point where I remember like sophomore year, she literally told me to my face, she was like, if I was here the whole year, you wouldn't have gotten an A. And like, I was so mad when she said that because I had an A like the day she left to go like do mom stuff. I had an A in her class, so there was no reason for her to say that. Like, I probably would have gotten an A with her or without her. I ended up getting an A anyway. Sophomore year, I don't remember many stories. Like, I really don't. Senior year is where everything went wrong. So we haven't had her for like a year. Everyone figures she's over being upset about this stuff. First day of class was so awesome. We come in, you know, it's the first day of senior year. Everyone's really happy to see each other because summer break just ended. Like, I remember at one point I like took a trash ball shot. My friend Eric stuffed it, and the whole class, we're all just like having fun and chilling. Because in this program, like, everyone had been taking all these classes together for a long time now. So we all were like pretty cool with each other. Everyone was like pretty friendly with each other. It was a really nice vibe. Like, great vibe in the classroom. First day, everyone thought it would be great. We're like, oh, Miss T's not gonna be so bad. You know, like, really, this is gonna be great. And then everything went downhill. She was still mad salty that we were all loving those other professors. People say, well, what did she do to you, like, specifically? So I remember one day, this is such a weird curriculum, we were learning these things called like kennings. I guess it's a 2-word rephrasing. And the example in the book for kenning was whale's home, which obviously means the ocean. So whale's home is a possessive noun followed by a noun. That's what it is. So she asked us to give examples. Now, I was a good student. I would raise my hand for things. I was actually mad quiet in that class because the whole year I was trying to prove to her that I wasn't such a bad student, so I'd always make sure to be mad quiet in that class and never talk. So I raise my hand and I say, Monsters Hall. Monsters Hall, whale's home. We were doing the Frankenstein section, so Monsters Hall just made sense of what we were doing. Like, look at that. I went above and beyond. Answering this question, I went above and beyond. I related it to the subject matter and everything. Monsters Hall. And she goes, no, that's not one. I'm not trying to fight her, but like, that is one. If you think of it, it's a possessive noun followed by a noun. So I go, okay, Miss T, like, why isn't it one? She's like, it's just not. And then I'm like, okay, like, if you can't give me an actual reason as to why it's not one, then it is one. She's like, it's just not one. It's just not. And I was like, you haven't given me like an actual reason. So we basically debate this back and forth across the classroom. And then she finally goes for like, after a minute of me just saying like, you have to say that it is or it's not. You can't just say that it's not one without telling me why. Like, a good teacher explains things. They don't just say, oh, it's this. Finally, she goes, well, if you want it to be right on the test, it can be right on the test if you write that in. And I was like, Miss T, like, I don't care if it's right on the test. This isn't about me being right. This is about me explaining the subject matter. Like, that's the whole point of you coming here to teach us every day, is to freaking explain this shit to us. I didn't say shit, but like, I was feeling it. That happens, and like, she basically kind of admits, like, in front of the whole class, she said it was wrong just because it was me. So that's when I knew like shit wasn't gonna work out. And then it gets worse. So my school was really clutch, and they had like colleges visit our school, so you could do like small group interviews with like college college like people. So like mid-September, I had a meeting with like a University of Oregon rep, because like at the time I thought I was gonna go to University of Oregon. Maybe another story time how I chose my colleges. I was like, oh sweet. So I did this thing mid-September. We took a test on Halloween. This is over a month after this meeting. And she lost my test. She legit lost my test. I get a 0 on it. And I remember it because I actually saw it. She gave it back to me and then we had to give it back to her. I got like a B on it. I'm not even claiming to get an A. I legit got like a B on it. And for me, like I had an A in the class. Like a B is not even like a good grade. Technically that lowers my grade. Nothing for me to be excited about. I was like, Miss T, you lost my test. Like I got a B on it. I remember I got like an 18 or I got like a 16 out of 20. Like how did you manage to lose my test and nobody else's? That's pretty fishy. And she goes, wait, no, you didn't take the test. It was there during your college visit. I was like, what? Like what? That was over a month ago. So I proved to her, I showed her the documentation. So I proved to her that like she was wrong. And so she looks at me and she goes, well, here's the thing. You can either take a 0 on this or you can go all the way to the county office and dispute it. And I actually did say this, so I said, so my options here are to either just take a 0 on something that I got a B on, or I have to like completely ruin my relationship with a teacher. So I made it like, I tried to make it seem like to her like, yo, like I don't want this to be like a problem the whole year. That's just gonna be annoying for both of us. So I said that to her and she was just like, oh, it's your choice. And I was like, you know what? I feel like if I take the 0 on this, maybe like it'll work out for me. Like maybe she'll stop hating on me. Like she did not take it that way at all. She probably thought like me not going to the county's office was probably like me admitting defeat that I actually didn't take the test, but I freaking did. So that was a bad idea. Don't do things just to make other people happy. Do what's right. If I did what's right there, I would have gotten, I mean, I got an A anyway. Because like, look, her class wasn't that hard, but like, bruh, that's just some BS that I shouldn't have had to have dealt with. Speaking of, like, we're going back to this whole like program, how the class is together. So senior year, we got to take a mass media class, which was actually pretty much just like making videos with like iMovie. So one of our assignments was like, we had to make a movie that it had to do with like mythics and superheroes. It basically had to be a superhero movie, which is awesome. We were super excited because in our previous assignment we could do anything and we made America Boy, so we made that. So our second assignment, we're so hyped to make the sequel to America Boy since we have to make a superhero movie. My group's one of my best friends, Jason, my friend Evan, like it's all of my close friends are pretty much in this group. We all go to my house after school the day we find out about this assignment and we write a full script. We write like a 15-page screenplay. Like we were working on it for like 4 hours. Like we weren't even supposed to be working on it yet, but we were so excited to work on it that we just went and did it. So then in English class the next day, our teacher was like, all right, I'm gonna give you guys time for your groups to work on your scripts together. So we like refine it a little bit. We work on it for like 10 minutes, but like legit, we'd been working on it for hours already the previous day. And I was like, oh, Miss T, like we finished, like, she's like, you haven't finished. I was like, well, no, actually, Miss T, like everyone came over to my house yesterday. Like we're really excited to work on this assignment. Like we really wanted to like, you know, do well on this. Like we wanted to, like that's like what a good student does. Notice how in all these stories, it's me being a good student. I'm taking the initiative to be a better student and to have a better assignment, like to put out a better quality assignment. She goes, no, you have to work on it. And I was like, but we like legit finished. And we're like, can you at least look at it and maybe give us some feedback so we can actually find something to work on? Because we've been working on this for hours. We don't really know what else to do with it. So she goes, no, find something to work on. And I go, well, can we work on work from another class? And she's like, no, you have to do work from my class. And it's like what kind of teaching method is that? You basically punish the students who are taking the initiative and trying to be better students, better scholars. You're basically just giving the middle finger to the people who are actually giving effort. Because what made me mad about her was there were kids who would walk into that classroom and say like just mean shit to her, and she never really got that mad at them. But with me, it was like every little thing I did, she got so mad at. And I think it's cause I had a good grade, so she thought I should be like the example student. But for the most part, I freaking was. That's what made me so mad. Like, remember how I say she was still salty about not like being like everyone saying nice things about other professors? She was like, why do you guys always compare me to other professors? It's not like I compare you guys to other students. And she did though. There was this one student named Kim. She always compared people to. She'd always say like, why can't you guys be more like Kim? Like, why can't you guys behave like Kim? Okay, Kim was quiet, but I found out that girl had a C in the class. Like, why can't we all be like him? I don't know. She had a C. I had a freaking A. Why can't y'all be more like Jiedel, huh? Bro, I'm so mad. Like, oh my god. And the thing is, there's millions of stories that like I could talk about. And I'm gonna have a part 2. If you guys want a part 2, like let me know if you want a part 2. Because my friend Jason, he's definitely got some stories. Like, oh my god. I remember one time, if you missed a day of school, she had a box you could go to that was supposed to, she said, had what we did the previous day, what assignments were due, all this stuff. Great system, right? If you actually update it. She never freaking updated the box. So one time my friend Jason came in late. Oh, and she hated my friend Jason because he was my like friend. Like Jason and I in high school, especially senior year, we hung out like every single day. So like we were pretty much always together. Like people always associated me and Jason together. We were Big J and Little J. Of course I was Big J. Jason comes in after missing a day of school. She kicks him out of the class. She's like, oh wait, you can't be here. You missed yesterday. And I'm like, I'm doing that Nick Young meme out there. Like, I don't know why the hell, what the hell? Does that ever happen? Like, we weren't taking a test or anything. So I overhear her, because I was the desk closest to her. She goes to her, like, TA, and she's like, oh my god, you have to actually put something in the box. Otherwise, he's gonna go nuts about this. Like, you have got to be kidding me. You are such an awful teacher that you have to freaking tell your TAs to do that, because you never actually do it yourself. And you know what the worst part was? She told us that, like, I don't know what tests teachers take to become teachers, but she told us that she actually barely failed it, and she begged and cried to have them let her teach, and they let her teach. Like, she shouldn't have even been there, bruh. That's some messed up stuff. It's mad. And I really, like, I honestly, throughout high school, I can't think of another teacher that I actually even, like, disliked. Like, the worst I ever usually felt about teachers was, like, neutral about them. Like, it was very rare for me to actually dislike a teacher, but she was the only teacher who would, like, go at me. Like, I've never, like, all of my college professors, like, freaking love me, because I always, like what I do the same stuff I did in that class. I take the initiative on assignments. I try hard. Like, this video was definitely just a rant. I don't know if you guys are actually going to enjoy this or not, because it was literally just me ranting. So let me know if you did enjoy me ranting at a camera for 15 minutes while playing Rocket League, guys. I know that this video is so different than yesterday's video I wrote of the playoffs. Just like mad ting, way different, so different. But yeah, I will try to think of more story times for you guys, some more happy story times, because this one was just crazy loud and negative, and it was pretty much just a rant. It's so funny because, like, it's been 4 years since I had this class with this teacher. I will not dignify her by calling her a professor, and I'm still so mad about it. You always gotta have a chip on your shoulder. Like, I want to become like super successful in life and then go visit the school and be like, look at me now. Guys, thank you for watching. Again, leave a comment below if you want more story times, or if you want a part 2 of this specific story time. The next story time will be much more fun. Maybe I'll do some stories with Jesse or with Jason or with my friend Kyle, just different stories with people. All right, peace.